Welcome back to the channel, guys. Now this is the 2022 environmental science past paper module 3, just completing the paper. So please watch to the end, and please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend. Of course, guys, the more you do that, the more past papers you will get. All right, let's jump right into it. So this is actually question 5. Also, module 3 here starts with question 5. So 5a, it says complete table 5 below by listing two named Caribbean countries and identifying one natural resources that is found in each. Alright, so they already give you the table here. So you're supposed to put in these. So number one, country Jamaica, of course. There is bauxite and limestone here, gravel, sand, etc. Guyana is famous for gold and bauxite, Trinidad for natural gas. Alright, the B part of the question says, as an environmental science teacher in a high school, you have to mark students' answers to two questions, which to two questions given in an examination. A student's response to each question is provided below. Question 1 says was to identify two consumptive and two non-consumptive uses of natural resources. Now the answer that the students gave were fishing and research for consumptive use, and for non-consumptive, the student gave ecotourism and bioprospecting. Now this is your response to the question. Now, 1, it says, is the student's answer to question 1 correct? Well, I have no. And part 2 says, explain your answer in B1. So of course, yes, fishing is consumptive, but some research are not. All right. Consumptive, guys, means the resources is used up in the process. Right. So like the fish, when the fishermen catch fish and they're going to eat the fish no longer exists. The fish is used up. All right. Non-consumptive use, the resources are used, but they still remain. The resources are not used up in the process. So, for example, tourists come to Jamaica, they do scuba diving. The sea is there, the water is there, the fish, they look at the fish underneath the water, they are there, and they will be there tomorrow and the other day and the other day. They are not used up in the process. All right, so back to the answer. It says fishing is consumptive, but some research are not. Also, ecotourism example for like hiking, scuba diving, viewing of the landscape is not consumptive, right? Bioprospecting, such as the making of pills and medicine, is consumptive. So bioprospecting here is actually consumptive. All right, so question 2 of the student response was, is traditional slash and burn agriculture as practiced by indigenous people considered sustainable? The student said no, it is not sustainable because in this practice trees are cut down, exposing the soil to soil erosion and causing nutrient loss. And you were to answer this now. Is the student answer to question 2 correct? Well, yes, I would say yes. The student is correct. Normally, clearing the land, guys, and burning, exposing the soil to soil erosion is not sustainable for the environment. So, of course, it says explain your answer in B. So, I'm going to read what is written here. It says slash and burn definitely makes the soil infertile when humus is burnt, right? Humus contains a lot of organic nutrients. It is home for many organisms and it improves the structure of the soil. So in a short period of time, the land will lose its productivity as crop reduce nutrients. Also, the land will be exposed to soil erosion and result in eutrophication. This method is not sustainable, especially for future generations. If population size increases, this method will not produce enough food for the increased number of people. Alright guys, so in short, because the land is cleared, the soil will be exposed to soil erosion. Alright, and also leaching, as the student said. Um, Humus, which is a component of the soil, when that is burnt also, humus in nature binds soil particles. It makes the structure of the soil better in that the soil can hold nutrients for plant, it can drain enough water when it's necessary. Now, when humus is removed from the soil, over a period of time, the soil will become more like sand. Most of the nutrients will leach out, so it is not sustainable. Now, when the soil is sustainable, it will be able to maintain crop growth. Alright? And not just for the present, but for the future. So the method is not sustainable. Alright, so part C here said table 6 illustrate percentage of public beachfront in a Caribbean country between 1980 and 2015. Study the table carefully and answer the questions that follow. So table 6 here says percentage of public beachfront in a Caribbean country 1980 to 2015. Alright, and these are the trend, the results here. Alright, let's move into the question that follows. It says, identify the main trend observed in the data in table 6. Alright, the trends is that public beachfront decreases over the period of time. Most of the beaches may be privatized and used for businesses. So if you notice guys, as you can see, public beachfront decrease. Simple. Alright, it says the Caribbean country experienced significant growth in tourism sector during the time period covered by table 6. Right? Part 2 here says use the information in table 6 to suggest the 5-year period in which the tourism boom started. So of course guys, as we said earlier, the tourism sector increased, meaning persons started businesses with these beachfronts. They privatize them, develop them, make hotels, Airbnb, and all of that. All right, so they started to make a lot of money. So boom year means starting to make a lot of money from tourism. Now the year that we got was 2000 to 2005. Now let's look back at the diagram. So this is what we have 2000, between 2000 and 2005. So as you can see, when you take away 70 from 87, we got 10%. No, 70 from 87, we got 17%. All right, so 17%, guys. That's a lot. That's the most um, increase in the privatization of these beaches. So the boom, it means the boom would start here. All right, he said, explain your answer in C. It says, private beaches increases from 1% in the previous years to 17%. Business increase gradually, tourists pay to use private beaches, and a lot of money is made. All right. It says here now, explain one environmental impact of the development trend identified in table 6. All right. If a lot of hotels and Airbnb and buildings and beaches are developed, guys, what you'll have, they'll need land area and space to build these buildings. So you will have habitat destruction and introduction of new species. Well, introduction of new species, we have a lot of tourists coming in. Because habitats are destroyed, species will move from one location to the next. And new species into another area normally cause problems, all right, as they establish in the food chain. So, of course, more hotels are made, land is clear, mangroves will be dumped up. And, of course, that will cause destruction of biodiversity, which will make the environment unstable, result in more climate change, etc. All right. Question 6a says define the term natural resources. Natural resources are essential elements found in nature that are exploited to satisfy our needs and wants. Example natural gas, water, sand, and gravel. So anything that we use, any substance we use for our purposes, those are natural resources. And they normally exist in nature. Two, it says identify a named non-renewable resource and explain how one political factor may positively or negatively affect the use of this natural resource in the Caribbean. So, of course, we are familiar with natural gas. All right. Now, natural gas is used to produce electricity here, especially here in Jamaica, right? So the government don't have the money to be importing these natural gas in bulk. They might not have the skill. All right, so of course they here in Jamaica they privatize um the electricity company JPS. So of course we have privatization. So the government can privatize the business, and these companies will come in, set up business, and provide electricity for the people. All right, because the government cannot nationalize the business. All right, because here in Jamaica we don't have reserves of natural gas, so privatization would be a good option. Unlike in Trinidad and Tobago has natural gas, so the government could nationalize the business, making the country responsible to run and operate the business. All right. However, the negative affecting it negatively, they would look at the environmental impact assessment. So the government would look at, so political here, they look at how this business of natural gas now would affect the environment, or it affect the plants, the animals, the species, the water sources, the forests, and of course how it affect human lives and health. And from that now they could make a decision not to go into business, not to allow natural gas to be the main source of energy source. So for example, guys, the government is pushing a lot of incentives into solar energy currently in Jamaica and other Caribbean countries, based on what I know of. All right. So because natural gas over a period of time will result in global warming and climate change. So right now, presently, we were experiencing climate change, and of course, the environment. The government is giving incentives, loans. So NHD right now in Jamaica is giving loans at 1.5 million to install for homes to install solar panels. All right, guys. Let's go to the next question. Where's the answer for this? This it was here. You attend a speech by a government minister about the sustainable use of natural resources. In the speech, the minister states that gravel and forest are both renewable and inexhaustible resources. Justify why this statement is correct. Alright, guys. First, let's start with sustainability. Sustainability means having enough resources presently to satisfy our needs and having enough for future generations to satisfy their needs. All right, so sustainability look at the present need plus the futuristic need of the people. All right. So while forests and gravel are renewable, they are not inexhaustible. If not managed properly, they can become extinct. And of course, the inexhaustible means to be there forever. All right, guys. So we know that forest and gravel are renewable, but if they are mismanaged, especially forest, various plants and animals can become extinct. All right. So human can actually overuse them. So they are not inexhaustible. They can become extinct. All right. All right. So state one example of a renewable resource and one example of an inexhaustible resource other than gravel and forest. So renewable resources are like fish, birds, iguana, lizards, etc. Luma, wool, etc. Inexhaustible resources, and of course, these resources will never run out, like water, sunlight, tide. All right. Figure 4, question C here says, Figure 4 illustrates the total volume of water extracted in Antigua and Barbuda over the period 1988 to 2012. Examine figure 4 carefully and answer the question that follows. All right, so over here on this axis, it says total water withdrawal. So the persons want water. People in the country wants water on a daily basis. Now, to get that water supplied to these homes, the water is extracted by a plant or plants, right? And over here, it shows the data, the amount of water that has been extracted from these water sources over a number of years. All right. Anyways, let's go to the question. It says, estimate the rate of increase in the amount of water extracted in Antigua and Barbuda between 1998 and 2000 and 2008 and 2012. All right. So between here and here, this is what they want. So they want you to work out this, the amount of what, the rate. Now, guys, now when you hear about rate, it means how much per time period. It means per time. So in this now, it speaks about here. So it means how many water is extracted per year. Now, this is 2020, this is 2003 to 2007. This is a what, 4 years period. So it means over this 4 years period, how many water is extracted from these sources in 1 year, each year. So of course, you must divide by time. So it is the amount of water extracted divided by time. So it's 8.5 divided by 4. Now, how you get the 8.5? The 8.5, you read it off from here and go across. So that's 8.5 millions meter cube of water. So for this 4 year period, it basically telling you now that 2.125 million meter cubic meter of water is extracted per year in that 4 year. All right, let's move to the next question. It says, in order to facilitate future planning, the minister responsible for water resources would like to be given a prediction and estimate regarding water extraction for the period 2018 to 2022. Estimate the value for the data point in 2018 to 2022 and draw the bar on the chart in figure 4. All right, so the here is what, 2018. So this is what they wanted to estimate the amount of water that would be extracted. So from my estimation, it would be 16.5 um, million cubic meter of water. Now, let's follow the trend. Basically, it's a trend and it's going up, right? So in 2003, 2007, The amount of water extracted was 8.5. Now in 2008 to 2012, it was 11.5 right here, right? So 8.5 from 11.5 is 3. So the amount of water extracted has moved up to 3 cubic meter of water per every 4 years. So it goes up by 3 each 4 years. So 11 to get this one right here, it would be 11.5 plus 3. That's what 14.5, right? Now 14.5 plus 3 would be 17.5. So this one is actually should be up further. 14.5, 56. It should be up further. It's not going to over here. Well, based on my prediction, guys, that's what I got. So if you got something else, if you get something else, you can leave a comment in the comment section. Of course, I'm happy to look over those comments. All right, the next part of the question says, the trend illustrated by your prediction alarms the relevant personnel at the ministry. In an effort to address the issue identified in this trend, plans will be made to introduce a tool for natural resource conservation. Identify one such tool and explain how it would work to address the issue illustrated in figure 4. Alright, so it's ministry, it's government, guys. So the government has a number of strategies that they can use. They can pass laws. They basically use laws. They can use incentives. They can use tax levies to control the population or the resources. Now, the one that they will use would be preservation. Right? So these water sources, they could pass law to reduce the development of these water sources. All right, when they pass laws to develop to reduce the development of these water sources, these companies cannot come and extract too much water from them. They will stop them. So they would have to use their present water sources to produce water. Of course, when that happens, these companies would not pump water to the homes every day. They might give it once per week, all right, or twice per week. But if they have water unlimited, they would pump a lot of water continuously, maybe 3 times a week, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. But so the government can step in and put in preservation laws and policies. All right, so this is the end of the test paper, guys. Thanks for viewing, and I will happy to post more videos. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.